Hey guys, it's question of the week time once again, and this week's question asked, what beauty skill do you struggle with the most? And I gave about 7 different options in my question posted on my blog, and I allowed you to give multiple answers for that because I feel like easily, you know, 1 or 2 of those things could be a problem for one particular person. So I thought, why not, you know, just let people choose multiple answers, and the ones that have the most will still come out on top. So in this video, I wanted to go through the top 4 vote getters. They all got more than 120 votes apiece, and they are concealing dark circles, applying liquid liner, applying false eyelashes, and picking the right foundation shade. If you want some quick tips on those 4 things, keep on watching. The number 1 vote getter was concealing dark circles. That is the number 1 skill that people who went to my blog and voted thought the skill they thought was the most challenging for them. So I want to go through a few quick tips for you here. The number 1 thing I would say to do is use a cream product and then set it with a powder. It's very important if you want that concealer to last, and if you also want to give it an added matte effect. You know what I mean? If that is matte and less shiny, there's less chance of light bouncing off of, you know, your dark circle, and it will be more one solid color as opposed to multi-dimensional. You don't really want the multi-dimensional color around your eye. You want that to be matte and basically go unnoticed. You know, this is not the area you want people looking at. You want people focusing on your eyes, focusing on your lips, something like that, but not really paying great attention to your under eye area. So that's where concealer comes in, and I want to give you guys a couple of options here. First, you guys have heard me rave probably numerous times about Bobbi Brown's Creamy Concealer Kit. I'd like to say something here as well, real briefly. On my channel, if it's a good product that I honestly believe is good, I will recommend that product to you. If it's a bad drugstore product, I'll point that out. If it's a bad high-end product I've tried, I'll point that out too. But I don't stick to any one type of makeup. You guys may notice that I do a lot with drugstore. That is for a couple of reasons. My size of my drugstore collection definitely outweighs the size of my high-end makeup, but also that is what many of my viewers are looking for, is affordable options. At the same time, I have viewers that, you know, are MAC users and high-end users that watch these videos too. I try to keep the range as broad as possible when I make a product recommendation to you. And just know that when I make that recommendation, I realize one product that worked for me might not be working wonderfully for you. But if I truly believe that it's good and it's my hope that can also work well for you, I will promote that. You know, I will get on here and recommend that to you. So it's honest recommendations. That's what I do. High end or low end, I will tell you the truth from my heart. So I hope you guys are cool with that, because that's what's happened all along through my 100+ videos on YouTube. And you know, it may be a high-end product I recommend, it may be a low-end. I'm not 100% one way or the other, and that I think is the beauty of this channel. So I will get off my soapbox now and finally give you some concealer recommendations. By far my favorite is the Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer Kit. That's because this follows the philosophy that I just gave you of using a cream, which I would use a small concealer brush to apply this. I just use one from Essence of Beauty at CVS, but you apply the cream and then it gives you a light yellow setting powder to top it off and help it stay and help sort of brighten the area further. So that's a great thing. Bobbi Brown also makes something called Corrector. This I have in Bisque, and it's more of a salmony color. And that is great for some heavy-duty concealing that you might do in here and around the outer corners. So that's an option that you could use before using this. Low-end alternative, or a less expensive alternative, is the NYX Concealer in a Jar. I use this in light. It's the most comparable in texture that I can find to the Bobbi Brown product, and it works really well. You got to make sure you set this with some loose powder that you own, but very high quality. I'm really impressed with that. I think I got it for around $5 on cherryculture.com. Prices may vary there a little bit, but those are my concealer recommendations. Another big struggle that I think people have with makeup, that obviously you have because that's the way you voted, is applying liquid eyeliner. This was the second highest vote getter, and there are a few tips I'm going to give you in terms of application. First off, when you're just starting, try to steady your elbow if you can. If this means stepping away from your desk where you have a mirror, you may have that mirror right in front of you, but it may be, I don't know, your table might be down low, or you might not have a good way to sturdy your elbow. So get somewhere where you can. Take a mirror that you can pull out and put it here in front of you, and like I'm putting my elbow right here on my coffee table, and do that because that will help you much more easily than when you're freestanding. Later, you'll probably be able to do that just fine, but when you're starting out, it's very awkward. It's strange to do liquid eyeliner, so find a way to steady your elbow. My other tip is when you're just starting, try to find one of those liners that's a pen format. You may have seen in my liquid liner review way back, I didn't talk these up very much because I don't feel like they last very long. But when they're new, when you've got them, like the CoverGirl, the little pen, I think it's Line Exact or something like that, these are very easy to manage. They're practically like a marker, and I would suggest that if you're just starting out, and then maybe as you get more comfortable, branch out to like the Revlon Color Stay, which is like a felt tip applicator that you pull out of a little like inkwell looking thing. Also, cream liners like, for example, this one, or gel liners like this one from Jane. This is the Be Pure gel liner. Those can be easier to use sometimes as well, but just because that product is not like you're dipping in and dipping out. It's just all kind of, you can get it on your brush and do multiple strokes. You don't have the pressure of necessarily doing one stroke. You can do multiple and blend it out a little bit more easily with a cream or a gel. Just an idea there. Also, make sure you're lining from inner to outer corner. That generally is the easiest way to go with that. Just get one fluid line. Don't necessarily start here, go to the outer corner, and then go into the inner corner. Just try from the start to get your technique right and go inner to outer corner. The next beauty struggle that we're having is applying false eyelashes. So I'm going to give you a few quick tips here. Try to use the half strips of lashes. If you can't find them in the stores, you can cut a full strip and cut them in half so they're much shorter and they cover the outer half of your eye. Today I am wearing a half strip of lashes. I don't know if you can see that if I tip them up a little bit, but these, I mean, I can apply them so quickly early in the morning when I'm getting ready, and it's, instead of having to manage and get in there with both hands maybe and make sure you've got it inner to outer corner, this is just a strip that's about that wide, and you just place it right there, and usually there's no more messing that you have to do. So that might be a good way to practice. Just like I said, if you can't find those half lashes available, maybe try just getting a normal set and snipping them and then using those on your outer half. It really won't look that weird, and if you can taper the lashes so they're not going like insta long lashes at the corner, you know, just kind of taper them so they sort of, you know, have that nice variance in length. That's a good idea. Sally Beauty Supply has a wonderful selection of lashes, so you should be able to find the half strips there. Also, let your glue get tacky. When you put it on, when you put your glue on the strip of lashes, don't immediately place it on your eye. It is not going to want to adhere. It's got to get a little tacky before you do that, so give it around 45 seconds to a minute to get that way, and then you'll find that once you stick it on, it'll stay where you put it. And lastly, use a light tone glue to start. It's usually white and then it dries to be clear. If you're just starting out, chances are you might, you know, accidentally, you're trying to get it on there on your lash line and you hit your brow bone or you hit your eyelid or something like that. And if you're using dark tone glue, that's going to show, and sometimes you may not even know that it's showing immediately, but you go out somewhere, you look at a mirror, and you're like, what is that little dark spot? Is that my eyelash glue? And that's happened to me. So while you're learning, while you're still getting comfortable with it, use one of the light tone glue. Like I said, it looks like it's white. It dries clear. That would be a good way to start. Last little beauty struggle that I want to touch on here is picking the right foundation shade. this is hard for, I think, almost anyone. No matter how experienced you are with makeup, there's always a brand that maybe you're not familiar with or something like that, and it's very hard to find exactly the right shade. The advice I would give is test it when you can. If you're in a department store and you're going for a high-end foundation, definitely try that out and test it. However, I've heard a lot of people that have experiences saying, I went to the MAC counter, I went to this counter or that one, and the girl put something on me and it was totally wrong. But that's what she sold me. And so, I mean, things can still go wrong, but if you are able to test it, I think you're one step closer to accuracy than you are from not testing it at all and just picking up a bottle. However, I realize that many of us, including myself, shop in the drugstore, so what I honestly do is if I am going in there to pick up a foundation, I'm going to find any mirrored surface. Maybe I'm picking up a compact and, you know, that is sold like that where you can flip it open or something, and just hold the bottle up to my face and I give my best educated guess as to whether or not that matches. That's just what I do. It may not be perfect. Sometimes they have the little sheets that you can like get out and test and hold up to your wrist or whatever, but I just kind of try to hold it up to my skin and see generally if that is correct. Another thing I do is I evaluate what I have in my collection already. See what shades that you have that have worked for you, what have been too light, what are getting too dark, and get a sense of, you know, where you need to be going with that look. You know, try to get a good visual of, okay, I'm looking for something about here. Does that make any sense? So just be aware of what you own, know what's too light or too dark, generally speaking, for you. Also get a sense of warm and cool. Some people have a really rosy undertone to their skin. Others people have a more yellowy undertone. Just kind of know what's going on with your skin so you are able to pick up a bottle of foundation and say, that's a little bit rosy, or that's a little too yellow, or something like that. So just kind of be aware of what your skin's doing, give it a good long look at examples maybe from other people, other pictures, or people who say, hey, I have this skin tone, and then you can kind of compare. Hope you guys found this informative, just a few quick ways to solve some of those beauty struggles we all have from time to time, and I hope you will visit my blog and answer next week's question. Thanks for watching.